Never let a man come over to your house after a first date. And if you used to do that, you're not gonna do that after this story time. Let's go. I also forget to mention that it's a true story time. Yeah, let us begin. The story starts off with this young girl. She goes on a first date with this guy. They go out to get dinner, and honestly, he was a green flag all throughout. Like, he was nice to the waitresses. He paid for the bill. Like, no red flags at all. This is why no matter how normal or nice a guy seems to be, you can never trust them too quickly because the story's like this. The dinner goes great, he pays the bill, and then they just go about their day and they go to their own homes. So obviously this is a respectful man, right? Like, he didn't even try to like get her to come over and didn't ask to go over to her house yet. So she goes home and then she gets a call from him, and he's basically saying how he can't find his key, his roommate is not answering the phone, and if he could just come over for the time being until either his roommate answers the phone or he finds his key somehow. And she obviously said yes because, once again, no red flags. He comes over, they're having a blast, they're just sitting on the couch, talking, vibing, and then it just gets really late, so she's like, hey, you can sleep on the couch until you figure things out, I'm gonna go to my room. And something told her to lock the door. Obviously, she lives alone, she doesn't normally lock the door, but something, an instinct. A woman's instinct is always right. So she ends up locking the door and then just going to sleep. A couple hours pass, and then she gets a knock on her bedroom door, and it's him asking for a phone charger because his died. Something told her, once again, don't open the door, just tell him where it is. So she does not move, and she says, it's on the kitchen counter, like, help yourself. And he says thank you, and then he goes about his business, and then she just goes back to bed. Okay, this is where it gets a little for me. A couple minutes go by, and then he comes back and knocks on the door and says, hey, like, this charger's not working, like, do you have a charger in your room that I can borrow? Something just like raises a flag in her head, like, hey, something's wrong, why does he want to get into my room so bad? So she calls the police. After she calls the police, she hears like the door kind of opening, she hears like a bunch of commotion outside, and then a couple minutes later, the police knock on her bedroom door and say, hey, like, you're safe, he's in custody, come outside and look at your living room. Guess what she saw? Please, just pause the video. I want you guys to guess first before you actually hear what it is. So she walks out from her bedroom to her living room with the police, and she sees her whole living room fully plastered, and she just sees a box of power tools. So drills, axes, you name it, it was in that power tool box. If she left her room and she didn't use her womanly instincts, you guys, women, we're never wrong. I said what I said and I meant it. If she did not just listen to her instincts, she would have been gone. I'm so scared for women. Like, we're not safe ever, and it's really sad. I really want to know how she felt in that moment. Like, just to be like, whoa, like, I just listened to my gut, and that's the main reason I'm still alive till this day. Like, if you're watching this, I'm so proud of you, and I hope you know that. Moral of the story is, a man can be so normal, have the perfect job,